Hello everyone, I'm day weather meteorologist Don Day with your Public Lands Council weekly weather update for this July 29th, 2023. It's being brought to you by Ag Risk Advisors, also being brought to you by WSR Insurance Services Incorporated. As we take a look at the last days of July, and believe it or not, here we are heading into early August. This is what we're watching for you in the western United States. First of all, we're going to see an uptick in the monsoon moisture. We've seen it here lately with pretty active afternoon and evening thunderstorms, but the monsoon's going to get deeper and the rains will be heavier. And they're also going to cover many areas of the western slopes of Colorado, western Wyoming, Utah, back into Arizona and New Mexico, the Four Corners region. Those areas which kind of maybe haven't had as much rain have a better chance of picking up rain. Some of it could be quite heavy. Now that monsoon moisture will also act to cool things off a little bit. And this is especially true as the hot high pressure ridge will shift more eastward. So what's going to happen is the center of the high pressure, which has been over Arizona and New Mexico for weeks, is going to go east into Texas and Oklahoma. They're going to get the real hot weather while the monsoon deepens, and this is going to bring heat relief for parts of the desert Southwest. Yes, for you folks in Arizona and California, New Mexico, the Intermountain West, which has been so warm at times here, but especially the desert Southwest, you're going to get a break from the heat as the heat will shift eastward, and you're going to get some decent chances of rain. Speaking of rain, in the last week, a lot of this happened late last week, but again, it's been very moist in this same area here, but also we've gotten showers and thunderstorms in a ring around the high pressure ridge that's gone like this. But notice that kind of left out is the Four Corners region, parts of western and southwest Colorado, eastern Utah. The thunderstorms have been in a ring around that area. But as we see the high pressure shift east, what you're going to see is this fill in. So you folks living there, you've got better chances of rain coming here over the next 7 to 14 days. Temperature wise, yeah, it's been warm, but you know what? What is not matching up is what you hear in the news in reality. Yes, it's been hot, without a doubt, in this part of the world here. And the last week, it finally has warmed up here. But you can see over the last week, a lot of the region, a lot of the U.S., a lot of Canada, hasn't actually been hot. It's actually been cooler than average. And if you look at temperatures since the first of the year, well, temperatures actually are below normal still, even for Arizona since January 1st. The drought monitor shows the same situation. Drought conditions are worse in the Corn Belt and Midwest, but there has been rain. There has been some help there. And I talked about where we've been so far with temperatures. This is for the month of July, and we're almost done with the month. So the month of July in this area here has had at or below average temperatures, above average temperatures here. So on the whole, a lot of the U.S. actually isn't that hot for the month of July. But the extreme heat has certainly been centered back here. And if you go since January 1st, if you add all the days together, all the temperatures together, compare them to the 30-year average, the West is still, since January 1, cooler than average, even with the recent heat. Now, stepping forward, this is the forecast starting with this weekend. We're going to see more thunderstorms circulating around this high-pressure ridge into the Midwest and the South, with the hot temperatures still here in the southern plains and the desert Southwest. But what happens over time is notice an eastward shift in the high. Here it is now, but by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, it sets up further east. And what this does is it opens the door to all of the moisture coming out of Mexico, Central America, even the Gulf of Mexico. It converges, then goes around the high like this. And this is going to lead to, especially here, higher chances of heavy rain producing thunderstorms over the next 7 days or so. And by next weekend, the high does migrate back to the west. This is typical. You will see the high here and the high here, but so it'll go this here Saturday, this coming weekend. That's where it is on Wednesday, and by next weekend, it's back to here. This is normal. They kind of wobble, these high pressure ridges, but that ring of moisture will continue around the high to keep showers and thunderstorms going. But as the high shifts east like this will allow it to be a little bit cooler for the desert Southwest, this part of the world here in the West, which has been really hot. It won't be cold, but it won't be as hot, and certainly the rain chances are going to be getting better. And you can see that between now and next Saturday, Notice the ring of dryness underneath that high right there. And then notice the deeper moisture comes into the west, the Great Basin, through the Rockies. Look at this heavy moisture that potentially could form along the east slopes of the Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado Rockies out into the plains, the Dakotas. Nebraska could get quite wet, stretching into Missouri, but hot and dry in this area here. But the Four Corners area here, you've got some better chances of rain. You're going to have more monsoon rains in Arizona, New Mexico, into Utah, getting into eastern areas of Idaho, and look at Montana as well. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you next week.